Hey, ninth hour, we're gonna go through what you're supposed to be doing today and possibly early next week in regards to the yearbook that we started yesterday. So I will be on the meet to answer questions and kind of help navigate. So you can either join that and just stay on there, and if you have questions, unmute yourself, or you can just work. And if you have a question, just hop on the meet on your iPad or um, on your computer. So where we left off yesterday is we're trying to compile these 40 questions. Right now, we don't have enough to have it be all different between the grades. So if you have, maybe take the first 10 minutes of class and try to get that up to 40. If everyone does one or two, that should be enough. I'm not sure what Google results are there, but maybe you could just type in like weird interview questions or weird would you rather. Maybe there's something under yearbook interview questions to ask. Top 25 interview questions, how to answer them. So maybe there's just something there that if you're not able to think of it on your own, we want to try to avoid just sitting there and saying that you're trying to think of an answer, but really you're just killing time. Let's get this cranked out, get these 40 questions in. Let's try to have that done by, let's see, you're in here at 2:30, like 2:45. You should already know your groups. If you want to edit that and mix and match, you can. Just make sure there's at least two in each group. And then what you're going to do, let's go back to, I just kind of wrote this stuff on Illustrator here. Assign grades, which you already did. You're going to claim these questions. So with you and your other members here, like let's say I am a junior. So I have blue. I'm going to go on here, and I really like this question. I want it for the juniors. I'm going to take my paint bucket and just make that blue so that the sophomores, freshmen, and senior pages, they know not to claim that one, so we're not repeating ones. Now, if there's like just a slam dunk question, like maybe that one, and you want to double it up, let's say someone already made it, forgot what colors they were, yellow, just put like another one right here and make it blue. And let's, you can keep adding on just so we kind of know, I can see what 10 questions you're going to do. I will be on here too, kind of updating it in real time. We're going to get rid of that one. It's so easy to offend one person based on a question. So we're trying to just avoid that at all costs and not make anyone feel bad or get offended by a question. So a lot of these look pretty good on here, and I'll go through them one more time. And a lot of that's their question too. Like you could have a really simple question if the kids is they could give a lot of inappropriate answers for them. So we'll weed those out when the time comes. But then let's go back to that. So then you are going to compile questions onto your own sheet. And you can skip a step and actually put that right onto a Google form, and you would do the short answers for them. So I don't have this up, sorry, but you would just make a brand new form, new on Google Drive, Google Forms, and you can copy and paste right from here. I can take this one and copy it and wait for that to load. Name it like whatever you are. If you're a junior, interview questions, share it with me, please, right away. So under question 1, copy it, change it to paragraph or short answer, and then you can go hide myself here, make it required, and go to the next one. You can do duplicate and just type in your next question there and get your 10 questions on there. Then come up with a list of people to interview. You need to kind of know what class you're in. It's probably really easy for sophomores and juniors, probably maybe not so much with freshmen and sophomores. Hopefully you know a list of students that you can interview. If not, leave that blank. But I guess so I can see who you're interviewing too, so I can help bridge that gap and communicate. Let's do that on here. How do I get rid of that? I'm going to make a new tab on here. This Screencastify thing is like right in the perfect spot. So when you're on this one, there'll be another tab down here you click on, and then it will go away. But apparently I don't know how to move that right now, so we're just going to leave that. And then you can just say like what people you're thinking of interviewing. And then let's go back to Illustrator. Create sheet of question on Google Forms. Okay, that can go first or whatever. You're going to email those students, or however you want to contact them, if they're like on your team or you just have contact with them in your day-to-day action. You can just tell them that you are going to send them that. But if they agree, they would need to send you a picture of themselves back. And that if you saw how it is on the previous pages yesterday, they're like full body ones and you cut them out. So you would have to kind of in your email give them instructions for what kind of a picture you need of them, and that make sure that it has like, some people cut off the bottom of their shoes. Like you don't want to do that because they're cut out full on the yearbook page. So do that. And then you would cut out interviewees on Photoshop. I can go through how to save that when the time comes, or just go through that whole process of cutting out. Some of you maybe didn't have like Graphics 2 or Graphics 1 for a while, so I'll do a cutting out tutorial, but you're going to save that as a ENG, make it transparent. And then you're going to create the yearbook page for the interview. So you might be doing this page before you actually have the pictures, and that's okay. On InDesign, you can do this one of two ways. One person can kind of set up the whole entire page on their screen while the other person is kind of cutting out people on Photoshop. And if you have a group of 3, same thing, like you cut out 4, I'll cut out 4, and they can set up the yearbook page and do all the pictures in the font. So you have to communicate with your group members. I'm not going to necessarily be there to delegate and make sure you're talking. So you got to do that on your own. And then you can do that through email if someone's virtual, or do it on the Meet chat when I'm there. But when you create new, it's going to be a 2-page layout. So wait for that to load. And you should have this saved already. It should be in your saved. If not, you're going to do inches, 8.5 by 11, pages 2, start on 2. Your margin should be 0.5. Your bleed should be 1 or 0.125. And then you would hit create. And you can always save that if you haven't yet and name it like yearbook, or I'm going to name mine interview page. Unless you want to do it the second way, which is maybe you don't have a lot of contact with the person that you're in a group with and you just want to split it up. So you pick 4, they pick 4 people, and you would do one page, start on page 1. You would do one page, they would do the other at the very end. You can either send it to me, and we'll combine them into 2 later on. That's not a big deal. But then on your 2, for those of you, if whatever you're doing, wait for it to load. Just to review this right here, you're gonna have to do text on this one. So what you're gonna wanna do is make your rectangle frame tool wherever the people are gonna go, the cutouts of them. And let's make them all the same size. So when you make that picture, just hold Alt and kind of put them wherever. And you need 4. I get that it's not looking really good right now. But then you got to have text. So we got to have text on the top. That's going to be the title of the page, whether it goes the whole length or just one page. You're going to need text for the questions, text for the answers, and text for their names. Wherever that's going to go. And then you can go as far as even taking your text tool and typing in the question. What advice do you have for incoming freshmen? once you do your text, all the editing for it is kind of below my head right now. Let's see if I can. So you got your font, you got your size, you got all your styles, and your colors are up here. You can put a stroke on it, all that stuff, and just you don't have a background yet. So the only thing you'd want to communicate if you're completely dividing, so you're doing 4 and someone else is doing 4, is that if you're doing black font and someone else is doing white font, you got to kind of plan for a neutral color background. If I have a white background, the white font is not going to work on this one. So we don't want to have to go back through and change all that later. So just make sure that you kind of communicate with what font you're doing, because you want it to all look the same too. So if we're splitting up, let's say Blake and I are partners and we're splitting up, in an email, we'll say, I'm going to do this student, this student, this student, this student. You do them. I'll do these questions. I guess you're going to pick those questions out later, so never mind. But let's do marker felt fonts, and let's have a light background. So whatever font you do, make sure it's dark. Let's do black font for the questions, and let's do dark blue with a white stroke for the response. That way it all looks the same at the end. I will monitor, again, I will be on the Meet for you to go on there if you have questions or you're not sure, if someone's not there and you're not sure like what questions to do, but hopefully people are online. And this will probably be a multi-day thing, but let's try to get our emails out with the questions today if we can, to give, so we're not just waiting on Monday for like stuff to come back in. So your main focus for today, get questions, claim the questions, get them onto a Google form, hit that send button or hit the link and copy it, go onto your email and just compose that to all of the students that you have. Type them all in right here. Say something along the lines of, you have been chosen to be an interview participant. Please answer Google form and full. Along the lines of that. And maybe like if you haven't talked to them or you don't know them, if you don't want to be in this, please respond that. All right,